Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with an article from PJ Media dated January 28th. And if you didn't think TDS was real, well, you're about to see it in action here. It certainly is. As leftists are so upset about Trump that even the shrinks need shrinks. Yeah, that's how bad things are. So it says, so here we are after a truly extraordinary first week of the Trump administration. And how is the left holding up? Not so well, I'm afraid. It looks as if the forest bathing and other soul-soothing activities didn't work, and thus after a week of energetic Making America Great Again activity, leftists are sadder and angrier than ever and looking for ways to maintain their fragile emotional equilibrium. So we're talking about people who believe that men can become women, Hamas jihadis are resistance fighters, and Kamala Harris was a competent and compelling candidate, so their mental health wasn't all that great to begin with. That's a very good point. Says, but Trump being so energetic in service of the good and the true has just about sent them around the bend. Salon.com, which is a far left site, like a legit far left site and filled with a bunch of absolute dumbasses, said accordingly offered on Monday an article, and it's linked right here, says with the lugubrious title of Surviving Political Grief, You're Not Alone and There Is a Path Forward. And yeah, if something like this upsets you that much, like you got a problem. So that doesn't paint a pretty picture if you're a thoroughly indoctrinated Marxist who is desperately worried about climate change and trans rights, for everything is going down the drain. As Donald Trump is now the 47th president of the United States. Compared to the horrible things that will happen in America over at least the next 4 years, the weeks between Election Day and his inauguration may be remembered as the good times. Now, they were saying all this stuff in 2016, and none of the stuff that they said was going to happen actually happened, and it's once again not going to happen again. So chill the F out. Says, what horrible things? My question exactly. Says, well, if everything goes according to plan, inflation will slow, gas prices and taxes will go down, wages will rise, the border will be secured, and numerous illegal and criminal migrants will be deported. What's not to like? Says, plenty if you're an America-hating leftist, and hordes of those nose-ringed, blue-haired, black-clad masses have a tremendous case of the sads. Yeah, like all the stuff that he just listed there, it's like, that's actually all good stuff for everybody. So Salon's Chauncey DeVega lamented, quote, the shadow of January 20th and the cruel coincidence that it fell this year on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Remembrance Day hung over us all. You mean, hold on, before I even continue, like, you know, the guy that actually won an award from the NAACP with Rosa Parks standing next to him, you can go look up that picture. That's Donald Trump I'm talking about. Yeah, oh no, his inauguration day fell on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Kind of actually is probably meant to have been that way. Let's go back to this quote, because obviously this person is a retard. It says, King was among American history's great defenders of democracy and human rights. Trump is a committed enemy of those values. And you have, that's an end quote there. You, author, have literally nothing to back that up. Okay? You basically believe what you've been told, what the media has told you to believe. You have, again, where has he denied any of that stuff? Okay, and like, I want actual concrete examples, and not from like far left websites that just agree with you. Like, go find an actual thing that he did that's against that. And I understand, I know that you can't because it doesn't exist. Let's continue on. Say people like this are this is why this person is stupid. So this only makes sense when you remember that for the left, democracy and human rights means the left winning every election and restricting the speech for those whom it fears and hates. Trump is for a free society with a robust opposition and no restrictions on speech, and so for leftists, democracy is under threat. It's a good point. I mean, that kind of proves it right there. It's like all the stuff that Trump has said, like there's nothing in anything he said that leads me to believe that he's against like just basic human rights for everybody. Okay. So it says, and so DeVega tells us millions of Americans who voted for Kamala Harris and who believe in American democracy and the common good, which Kamala herself doesn't really believe in that. Like, she is a communist. Okay. So it says they remain collectively stuck in the various stages of grief. Like all totalitarians, they expect us all to march in lockstep. They're even sadder because of the fact that some Americans aren't sad at all. Says that grief is made even more painful by the fact that tens of millions of other Americans are jubilant at Trump's return to the White House and his vows of revenge against the enemy within as part of making America great again. Well, they stifled him before, and they're not going to do that anymore because he's cleaning house, and that's a good thing. So the article says, that's right, Chauncey. He is promising to take action against the people on your side who really did act against our free republic by moving to criminalize legitimate opposition. If you're weeping for the likes of Adam Schiff or Merrick Garland, you're no friend of freedom. That couldn't have been said better. Two of the worst people imaginable. So it says, DeVega, however, vows that the work to subvert Trump and America First policies will go on, no matter how hard it is. It says, quote, it is grinding and emotionally difficult work that often feels futile and can lead to PTSD, substance abuse, and mental health issues, end quote. It says, aw, poor thing. Apparently a typical leftist narcissist, DeVega claims that everyone shares his bad mood, because leftists, again, they can't see outside of themselves. Narcissism is the correct thing here, is that they're all narcissists, and it's just the world revolves around me and everyone should think and feel the way I do. So it says, considered in the aggregate, America's public mood is negative, anxious, and discontented. No, it actually is quite positive. It says, even worse, the evil orange man has done nothing less than rob life of its very meaning. This crisis of democracy is also a crisis of the collective life force, meaning the sense of purpose and the drive to lead a meaningful life. Okay, we just went full, what was this, yoga instructor, hippie or something here. It says, without a trace of irony, DeVega writes about widespread fear among ordinary people who are trying to survive financial precarity and avoid total household collapse and homelessness, not seeming to realize that that's why Trump won. This person's a leftist, so obviously, common sense just eludes them. It says, and so leftists, driven around the bend by Trump, are consulting the priests of their secular religion, only to find them just as depressed. So that, like it said in the title of the article, the shrinks need shrinks. It says, many reports suggest an increase in people seeking therapy and counseling. Mental health professionals are also seeking help for their own heightened anxiety and emotional challenges in the aftermath of the presidential election and the heightened demand for their services. Crisis lines have seen an increase in callers. Again, if this is something that is affecting your life like this, you just gotta do something else. Okay, this isn't for you then. It says growing up might be a good solution, but these poor people can't do that without rejecting all the lies they've told themselves. They've demonized Trump so relentlessly over the last 8 years that many leftists truly believe that certain funny mustache German guy is now sitting in the Oval Office. It's ridiculous. It's insane. It's the left, and that is correct. So, very, very interesting article there, but again, really, really funny. That says that the shrinks need shrinks, and there you go. And Trump is a danger to us all. Nope, he's not even a danger to you, pal. But anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.